Hey y'all, happy Saturday. I know I usually don't post anything on the weekend. However, I know I missed a day this week, and I also came across this hilarious but also very sad story on Feminagra about someone whose obsession with Meghan and their negativity and nonsense spiraled so bad their husband divorced them. And you know what? More power to the husband. Do not stand for someone abusing someone else, not even your partner. We have so much to get into, but I don't even know if I'm processing this. You mean to tell me you hated on someone so bad you lost your husband? If that isn't an indicator that you need to get your mind right and get some damn help, then I don't know what is. We're going to get into this story, so let's get started. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be reading an article from Feminagra about a woman whose negative obsession with Meghan resulted in her husband finally walking out on her. He had enough. I have so many thoughts, but before we get into it, if you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share so that more people can find us. So once again, this article is in Feminagra. It's titled, Husband Seeks Divorce After Wife's Obsession with Meghan Sussex Turns into Racism and Conspiracies. I genuinely thought I had heard it all, or damn near, but this is quite a bit. So it says, a man is asking strangers online whether his marriage can survive after he says his wife became consumed by conspiracy theories and online hate communities, starting with an intense fixation on Meghan Sussex. Now, yesterday over on Patreon, we talked about the dangers of fixation and how that can spiral and have horrible results. So I do not blame this husband for having grave concerns. In a post shared to the relationship advice subreddit, the original poster, a 36-year-old father, wrote that he has been married to his wife for 6 years and that the couple share a 4-year-old daughter. While he said he does not want a divorce, he admitted he feels he has run out of options. Do you know how bad your obsession has to be to drive away your marital spouse? Quote, when we first met, my wife was a kind, brilliant, and outgoing person. Over the past few years, she's changed in ways that really scare me. According to the original poster, his wife now spends hours each day scrolling through and arguing in online conspiracy spaces and hate groups. He said the behavior has become so consuming that it feels as though she is living in a different reality. I would say his assessment is spot on. Those people are genuinely off their rocker. The OP shared that his wife has not held a stable job in nearly 3 years, often taking part-time work before quitting or being fired within months. As a result, he said he has become the sole provider and taken on most of the parenting duties. My goodness. Quote, our daughter loves her mom, but my wife often seems distracted or disengaged, and it breaks my heart to see that. Now, again, I want to point out something and reference something that I have said before. There are so many reasons these people get locked into this fixation, specifically with people like Meghan. And it's not just Meghan, although she seems to be the poster child for let's all throw darts at this person because they seem to have it all. And it is heartbreaking. It's frustrating. But look at how it's boomeranging back into their lives. I don't even think that's the way you would conjugate that, boomeranging. We're just going to go with it, okay? Cut me some slack. But look at how that's coming back on them. Remember when I said every time you throw out a boomerang, it ends up back on your doorstep and it comes with everything you sent out? Great example of this. A lot of these people are racist. A lot of these people are sexist. And yes, women and Black women and everybody can be all these things. There are Black people who are anti-Black. There are women who are anti-feminist. There are so many different people out in this world. You'd be surprised what you come across if you look hard enough. But the thing is, Meghan represents quite a few intersections, and Meghan represents somewhat of an anomaly for a lot of people who have been fed or who just personally choose to believe the worst things about people like her And it helped, in my opinion, it's one of the things they have to tell themselves, or one of the tales they have to tell themselves to explain why they aren't further along in life and why she is. So they make up these conspiracy theories. They create and concoct this ridiculous hate for her. They tell themselves, well, I would be where she is if only insert ridiculous conspiracy here. Now, again, I said a lot of this is, and honestly, all of it is rooted in racism and sexism, but it takes on so many different forms. From the conspiracies to the trolling, to the obsession, to the constant arguing with people in comment sections. I've told y'all before, I don't even bother anymore with those people. I just block them and go on. First of all, the majority of them are bots. But for those who are actual human beings, what would be the point of wasting my breath, my life, my hours on this earth and giving that to them? For them to be in my comment section, seeking things out, your comment section, seeking things out to say about Meghan, to argue about Meghan, can you imagine what they must be devoid of in their own life? Let's let them carry on with their own misery. They cannot transfer that to here. No access. No, thank you. You will not transfer your misery to me. You can keep that all to yourself. I will not accept an invitation to live like you. That's why I ignore those people. The fact that someone was so obsessed that they actually are on the verge of losing their marital spouse. This person is opting to become a single parent because their spouse is obsessed with hating Meghan. That ain't a Meghan problem, baby. That's all you. Anyway, let's continue. He added that the changes have affected more than their household. The original poster said his wife has lost several friendships and that even her own family has begun to distance themselves. While they still check in on him and their daughter, he said they have admitted they no longer know how to reach her. And when they say reach her, they likely don't mean pick up the phone and call or stop by. They mean mentally, when I'm talking to you or engaging with you, I can't get through. There's a block there. When people are fixated, it's literally like nothing is behind the eyes, and it is terrifying. I have encountered a person who had an obsession like this. When you are that obsessed or that hateful or hate-filled that you start to lose connections with people and you start to lose yourself or lose your spouse, whatever, the things you lose in the process of hate are things that you deserve to lose, in my opinion. So I don't feel a whole lot of remorse or sympathy for people who are actively trying to harm other people. In any other sense, for example, if this were my profession and I were a therapist and somebody came in for help, I would not feel this way. But I'm speaking as just a regular Joe Schmo reading an article about a rando who is trolling and hating on an innocent person. And it's resulting in consequences and the loss of actual familial connections because you are obsessed with hating a stranger. Not only is that an indicator something else is really going on under there, like usually that's the case, but also you are kind of deserving the life you're creating for yourself. And that's not Meghan's fault. But back to the main point. When they said they could not reach her, I fully resonated with that because when that woman was sitting across from me on my roommate's bed and she was looking at me, she was looking right through me. And it's so weird because right before she saw the CD cover or the CD case, she was just normal. She was just, we were literally talking about walking over to the cafeteria and how we didn't feel like walking that far and to see if we could get somebody else to go and bring the food back. Like we were being regular, lazy people. And it's like a switch went off. And we had that whole exchange. And when my roommate came back, I told her what happened. And she was just like, you are mine. I said, no, I promise. She went and talked to her and came back and was like, oh my God, it's like whenever you say Beyonce, she just goes out of the room. Someone else comes in. I was like, yep, it's nothing behind the eyes. It's an obsession. And it is terrifying to witness in person. I feel bad for this person's spouse and family. I don't feel bad for this person. Let's continue. This is also linked in the description box below, and they actually provided the link to the real Reddit original post, and there's other details in it too if you want to read this yourself. It says one of the original poster's biggest concerns, he said, is that his wife's online fixation has taken a darker turn. It started as an obsessive dislike of a certain celebrity, but it's turned into outright racist comments, particularly toward women of color. Did we not say that? We said that people are using Meghan as a proxy to express their own personal beliefs. In follow-up comments, the original poster identified the celebrity as Meghan Sussex and said the fixation has been one of his wife's longest-running online obsessions. Hear that and read between the lines. Longest running. This is what she does. This is who she is. This is her identity. She doesn't just hate on Meghan. It seems like this woman is just one of those people. He claimed it acted as a gateway into more extreme beliefs. It almost always does, including anti-vaccine rhetoric and distrust of schools and government institutions. The original poster also alleged that his wife sent money to someone she met through an online royal gossip community who claimed to be hiring a private investigator to expose Meghan. Some things you just bring on yourself. But that's quite foolish, especially when you have a husband and a child. You need to be contributing all you can to your household, especially since you can't hold down a job. He said she described the situation as completely reasonable and did not see anything wrong with it. Quote, I'm emotionally exhausted. I'm worried about the environment our daughter is growing up in. I don't want her thinking this level of disconnection is normal. I also hope, and I'm going to check out the original post, but I hope he mentioned how dangerous it is for that type of belief system to be present in his home. Hopefully, because he is calling it out, hopefully it's not a belief system that he aligns with, and that is his concern. But I also hope he's taking measures to protect his daughter from learning that type of belief. The post drew thousands of reactions from Reddit users, many of whom said the story felt disturbingly familiar. Several commentators urged the original poster to prioritize his child's well-being and seek legal advice. I agree. While others described losing loved ones to similar online radicalization. A number of users said they guessed the celebrity involved before the original poster even named Meghan, pointing to a pattern they claim they've seen before. As soon as you mentioned obsession with a celebrity and racism towards women of color, I knew. Others framed the behavior as addiction-like, encouraging the original poster to seek support communities for families affected by conspiracy movements. Many stressed that therapy can only help if the person involved is willing to engage and disengage from the online spaces, reinforcing their beliefs. You have to want the help. At the time of the posting, the original poster said he's still weighing his options, torn between the fear of divorce and concern for his daughter's emotional safety. Always choose your child's well-being first. Feminegra has not independently verified the claims in the Reddit post and has reached out to the original poster for comment and have not heard back immediately. So I went to Reddit to check out the original post, and this person actually gave an update. It says, I'll try to keep this update short. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who took the time to comment and message me. For those who didn't read the original post I made, I'll link it here, and he did. It's also linked in the description box below. Some of you helped me accept a reality I had been avoiding for a long time. My soon-to-be ex-wife was not going to get any better, and I had to act to protect my daughter. I also want to specifically thank those who pointed me to the QAnon casualties subreddit. Reading other family stories and seeing how similar the patterns were was incredibly validating. It helped me understand that this wasn't something I could love or wait my way out of. I took the advice of some commenters and started documenting my ex's neglect of our daughter, her racism, and extreme beliefs, and reached out to a divorce lawyer. I checked on our joint bank accounts as advised and discovered that she had been withdrawing large sums of money from a joint account we opened early in our marriage for family vacations and that we had discussed using to eventually set up a college fund for our daughter when she was born. My God. Oh, she is in need of some help immediately. When I confronted her, she initially denied taking the money. When I demanded she show me where the money went, she went on a long rant about creating a better world. She admitted she had donated money to organizations like TPUSA. Oh, wow. I believe that's Turning Point, claiming they would create better schools and keep kids safe. She had also spent a significant amount on designer handbags, shoes, and clothing that she had hidden from me. She's got a lot going on. The craziest thing, she was also being scammed by someone she met through some royal gossip subreddit who claimed to have hired a private investigator to expose Meghan Markle. Apparently, this person would send her negative articles about Meghan Markle and claim that the private investigator had discovered this information and sent it to the press, and my wife would send more money. She told me all of this as if it were completely reasonable and saw nothing wrong with it. I told her I was filing for divorce, and at first she thought I was joking, but then exploded at me and began throwing things while ranting about me breaking up the family. A glass cup she threw hit me in the head. Oh my God. Oh my God. Violence is never okay. I left the house bleeding and went to my neighbors, who called the police. Ooh, my goodness. She had trashed the kitchen by the time the police showed up, and they arrested her after I explained what happened. Y'all, this woman became domestically violent, committed theft, neglected her child, neglected her husband, and physically attacked her husband and got arrested and was sending money to a scammer, all because she hates Meghan. My goodness. I applied for and was granted a domestic violence restraining order along with temporary custody of my daughter. I just want to take a second and say I'm so grateful that the father has been diligent about this and is protecting the daughter. My goodness. Could you imagine if the father was distant or not attuned to what was going on, or just kind of, what's the word when people are ambivalent to their household? They work so much, they come home and they just kind of tune out. Could you imagine if he wasn't paying attention to the signs, the type of experience that daughter would be having? My goodness, good for him. My wife currently has supervised visitation only. She is facing a misdemeanor criminal charge related to the domestic battery incident, which is being handled in criminal court alongside the ongoing divorce proceedings. She is currently living with a former co-worker, and her family has reached out to express support for me and my daughter. I'm in the middle of divorce proceedings, and my lawyer believes I have a strong case for sole custody. This isn't how I ever imagined things ending, but I'm grateful I listened to the advice here when I did. My priority now is my daughter's safety, stability, and emotional well-being. Thank you to everyone who helped push me to act. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. So I am actually going into the comments to see what else he said and to build more onto this conversation in case he gave more details. And I came across a person who commented named Deb in the Des. And she commented and says, I am a Brit, but I live in California for 26 years. I have a friend who I've known since I was 15, so it's nearly 50 years of friendship. Not that long ago, we were chatting in Messenger, and I don't know, she said something about Prince Harry or whatever, and I said, I feel a little bit sorry for him. She said, you are joking, aren't you? I said, no, I'm not. And then she just spewed all of this vitriol about him and Meghan and this and that and the other. And I said, you know, Deb, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to join in with the bullying that I've seen. It's not for me. I said, no one knows what's going on except the people involved. I said, it's all being spun by the royal family and their PR machine. At the end of the day, Prince Harry married someone and they didn't want to stay in the royal family and they left, and the UK folks just cannot handle that. They simply cannot deal with the fact that someone left the beloved royal family. She sent me this awful message saying that I have no idea what Charles and Catherine and William have been through, like she does, like they were her best friends. And she went, I can't be your friend anymore. I couldn't believe it. I was reading her message and I thought when people ask me why I'm not friends with Deb anymore, I will have to say it's because I'm not going to be mean to Meghan Markle. Like, that is insane, y'all. I'm reading this, but my jaw is on the floor. She goes on to say, I mean, that was the truth of it. She eventually apologized with we're talking again now, but it was really shocking. And of course, being a Brit, I keep in touch with my friends and family. And I tell you, people like Piers Morgan, his hatred for Harry and Meghan is frightening. I mean, there's a couple of groups on Reddit where the things they say about them, it's just scary. I could not agree more. Now, one thing I will say is parasocialism is very terrifying. It really is. There's a big difference between acknowledging something that you see and discussing it, having dialogue and having a conversation, and then a whole other avenue of behavior when people start to act as if they know them or start to think for them or start to imply that they understand who they are as a person outside of the lens of the camera and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, this is why I continue to pray for Harry and Meghan's safety and their family's safety. There are people out there who are genuinely willing to cause real harm. And if you are willing to allow your own life to go to shit, you have no problem with taking someone else's, which is why security is a paramount issue and why I will not let up on that. Anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts on this issue. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, but also share your thoughts in the comment section. I'm really curious as to what you think about this. Did you see the original Reddit post? And if so, what do you make of all of it? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.